Dare to defy.
Yay!
Oh no, Matt. That's why the singing wasn't very loud.
Next week he'll have a full piece orchestra.
Yeah.
Seven chords.
4 Matts.
Guys, welcome back to SourceFedNERD. You're welcome back to the SourceFedNERD. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Hey,
welcome back.
What are you referencing right now?
SourceFed.
Hey, I've come here to make a bargain.
Ooh, spoilers. But guys, thank you for joining us today with for Super. Oh man, did I just tell you guys I didn't sleep last night? Today's Superhero Smackdown.
You were so excited.
I was really excited to talk about these shows and Doctor Strange. But anyways, guys, this is the show. It's very reminiscent of Superhero Roundup, where we talked about all the superhero shows that are happening on the air. But we wanted to bring it back and do something fun with it. So each of us at the table is going to champion one of the shows that are on every single week. There are a lot of them.
Yes. Ooh, what show was it where champion was the word? Oh, it was Angel.
Angel.
Right. Instead, they wouldn't say hero, they'd say champion.
Of course. But for this show, usually we'll be talking about the CW/DC shows, but you guys have been pushing real hard for us to talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so we will. But Mr. Matthew D.
Yeah,
Lieberman,
what's up with the production here?
What's this? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We couldn't get the same designer back in time.
No, she's busy working on the prizes and punishments.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about
glue.
that. But anyways, because Matt's not here, we're going to be narrowing down the shows that we do talk about. So we've voted, and we went with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl for a number of reasons, but we'll get into that soon. But to kick it off, I want to talk about a little bit so that the fans that do like these shows still get what they want. How did you guys feel about The Flash this episode?
It was fine.
I'll do a quick synopsis of this episode. Caitlin, it's called Monster. That was the episode because we had an
No,
kind
we
of a
didn't.
monster.
No, we didn't.
Well, Caitlin feels like a
monster. Caitlin visits her mother to help her understand her growing meta-human powers. Barry tries to convince Julian to let
Mom's
him
super
help.
not helpful, by the way.
No, she's kind of a jerk. Julian to let him help investigate a new meta-human attacking Central City. Wow.
I like Julian. I still like Julian.
Yeah, Julian's a good addition. He better not be Dr. Alchemy.
That'd
be a waste.
It's too easy.
Yeah,
It would be a big waste. But and also it's just like, what did we learn? It's like, don't shoot kids.
Yeah,
right? It was
hey, kids at home, don't shoot kids.
Don't shoot, what is he doing? He's making a projection of monsters, and why would you fire on someone?
Why are we keeping around dumbass HR from Earth 19?
I was about
Clearly
to say
that kid who made a hologram monster is a super genius.
Yeah.
And we need him on our team now.
I will say that HR is a lot of fun.
HR is a lot of fun.
No, the way the writers structured him, because they're he wouldn't say anything, and you all know that guy in your group projects that never does anything, and you'd be like, and so today we're going to be talking about
Arrow?
Arrow's a show. They shoot arrows and love arrows, and this week they did a lot of things like
there's a human target.
There was a human target, and I love the human target, and we use the human target on Earth 19 and blah blah blah. And I'm like, this is great. This is a fun character. Will it last?
Kind of.
No,
maybe
you know what? I kind of part of me likes it because when they last week when they're all like, man, we need a Harrison Wells. We need it for the team. It's like, no, we had a couple episodes out. I think team wise, I don't think you do need him.
He is fun.
And so now having this one that. Because they have all the brain power they need.
Yeah.
So this adds an interesting dynamic as opposed to just another person to tell Barry that he can run fast and he should believe in himself. We don't need another one of those people.
When did they talk about that?
Does Barry even know he can run fast?
No, not yet. Season 4.
No, but I gotta say I don't agree with you guys. I don't think HR's fun. I'm like, cool, just move on. Let's get our real Harrison or it's just a distraction. Actually, is the way I feel
Philip
about
is
it.
on the record for saying he hates Tom Cavanaugh.
Ooh.
I love that actor.
Confirmed. WikiLeaks confirmed. He hates Tom Cavanaugh.
No, not feeling HR 19.
That's all good. Overall, this episode
19,
was definitely filler. On
it was
so many levels.
Yeah.
Fun
moments.
You know what though? I'll give it a little ray of positivity, a little white streak in my hair. I am down to see what's gonna happen with Caitlin.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish they'd get to it, but I'm down.
I think that's next episode, and I'm excited for that. But this week we also got Arrow, and this episode's title was Human Target. Here's a quick synopsis. When Tobias Church, captures and tortures one of Oliver's new recruits, Oliver must turn to an old friend, Christopher Chance, aka the Human Target, for help. Meanwhile, Felicity's worlds collide. when Detective Maloney joins the ACU.
That was not a big part of the episode.
No,
Nope.
it wasn't.
I don't know why that
Part
was
of
the
the
synopsis over there.
Thanks,
Human
IMDb.
Target, best part of the episode.
Oh, really? For me,
I loved
Human
Human
Target
Target.
was the most superfluous part of the episode.
Really? Oh, I thought Human Target was
Everything else I
awesome.
liked better. Not that he was
enjoyed him
bad.
too.
I enjoyed him a lot,
Oh,
but you
so
could have
cool.
taken him out of the episode and probably.
Oh, well, I didn't love the episode. So
I like the episode. I continue to like new Team Arrow. I also really like the introduction of Diggle. He will be a good instructor, a better instructor for new Team Arrow than Oliver would be.
And it'd be kind of like mom and dad. They'll be like, okay, guys, like Diggle will be firm, but he's like, okay, relax.
And I also think Tobias Church is a really
Diggle's
good
great.
antagonist, and I'm bummed that he will no longer be.
So yeah, Tobias Church, one of the biggest letdown deaths I think I've ever seen on a show. Especially like I feel like they sold out the character and the actor was just like, we cool? Like he even like had this weird like head back lean, and that's exactly where the star gets him. And it's like, oh wow, you really built him up to just like, no, yeah, he just died like very unceremoniously. I was very whelmed.
But flashbacks are tying into the present in a very unexpected way.
How did you guys like the black and red helmet man that showed up?
Apparently, I asked people on Twitter. Apparently, he's not a character from the comics. According to, I guess, behind the scenes videos that they released, they refer to him as Scimitar, who does not seem to have an allegory. He doesn't have a connection to somebody in the comics.
I feel like
he's just there to look cool.
Yeah, you could have maybe pulled him from
and
anywhere.
Also,
he did look cool.
He did look cool, but he was taken out super quickly by Human Target.
Yeah, which was cool.
Will Travell from Jessica Jones.
I loved the Human Target bit where he had been Oliver all day.
Yeah.
And in that early
Man, when I was watching
it
it when he's interviewing that news reporter, because she's way too attractive, that it was one of those like he's definitely gonna sleep with her. And then by the end of that scene, he got the number. I'm like, yeah, I mean, we know how these CW shows go, right?
Yeah. She used to be on a show as a teenager when it was CW was still the WB. Her and funny enough, her co-star was Leslie Bibb, who's the Marvel news reporter and all the Marvel news stuff.
That's cool. I don't know if you guys agree with me on this. I feel like Stephen Amell has been killing it this season.
Yes, he's definitely not phoning. Like sometimes you kind of like he's good about not making it apparent that he's phoning it in, but sometimes you're like, oh, we got to fight bees. Okay.
No, but like when he was discussing, I like Mayor Oliver because for once in a long time, his secret identity matters, and it adds an interesting dynamic to the Green Arrow stuff. I think people underestimate how much secret identities matter to superhero stories to add an interesting dynamic.
Well, that's the first thing they scrap. Like, look at any Marvel movie. They almost
any
no
Marvel
one
movie,
has
most of the CW shows, like, and I don't know if you guys remember
Daredevil and
Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys remember how exhilarating it was in season 1 when like. One of the big reveals, one of the tools it had in its pockets, like when Tommy found out, like, oh shit, and Tommy knows now.
Tommy was fucking
pissed about it. Yeah,
but
so it's cool that it matters.
Mayor, he's a public figure, which is an interesting thing of like trying to balance that.
Could you imagine living in a town where it's like, well, every year we have at least one major terrorist attack,
the mayor
and the mayor always dies, and then one time the mayor died, and then joke, I was just trying to pull one over.
I'm going back to Gotham.
It was almost like when we were watching Doctor Strange. It's like if I were in charge of these Marvel movies, I'd have just this one like actor, the background extra that I would in each movie just have his day-to-day life in
like
New York.
The cabbage guy.
Exactly. And so it's like it's a little extra in every DVD where he's just like reading the newspaper and suddenly Doctor Strange runs by and it's like what the.
And no, he's like no, and then like the whole world folds and he's like fucking hell, like there's nowhere I can go.
I'm gonna give you just my one biggest beef, and then I'm done with Arrow. The wild dog torture. got built up, and it's like, man, you're gonna fear what's to come, and then they didn't show us, and I was like, oh, what the hell? And they're like, wait, he's gonna relive it, and they didn't show us again. Yeah. And I was like, oh, so
wait, what they fear? Did they just beat him harder?
I guess the fear of more pain, the fear of death.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't remember Tobias Church's the actor's name, unfortunately, and he's been in The Wire and he was on The Walking Dead.
He's very good.
He's great,
and I'm gonna miss him a lot. But also, guys, thank you so much for Ragman. You know what I mean? Like, and this is the episode where he grabbed him and threw the guy at the camera, and I was like,
great.
Cool.
This is also the episode I was pointing this out to you, where Ragman has bullets being shot into him, and it's like not a problem. But there's two people right next to Ragman. Yeah. Shoot either of them, they're dead.
Yeah, but no, the guy in the middle. And when they everyone split up to do their fighting, Ragman took two dudes in the corner, and it's and everyone else is getting their ass handed to him. It's you need a reverse Ragman. Yeah. You need someone in all white and
Ragman.
He's like, takes him on.
Linens. We talked about this. Linens.
Oh man, Ragman, and all you guys who made Ragman accounts. I think one of you guys reached out to me this morning. I haven't been able to respond yet, but thank you so much. You guys are a lot of fun. There's at least 3 that I found, and I really appreciate them. But guys, we've spoken about Arrow and Flash. That way, everybody's happy. But now we want to get into Superhero Smackdown. This is the show. This is when we get to like compete. We have a couple different categories.
Smackdown.
And we've got prizes, we got punishments, we got all that. But this week, I think my friend Philip Molina.
Hi. Oh, hey, hi. That's my name.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
He's gonna be talking about.
It is.
I'll be talking. I'm trying to rest on it. Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, very cool.
Exciting.
Well, I'm not DJ.
And then DJ.
There you go.
Supergirl. Really cool episode.
And then me. I'm going to be talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Which had one of my favorite moments in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. of all time ever.
Yes, it was so. This episode, I think I'm already winning. But I'll stay optimistic that everyone else has a chance. But let's move on down.
Chad L. Coleman. Alvin Sanchez, the actor church, is Chad L. Coleman. Thank you, Alvin Sanchez.
Thank you so much.
He's so good, man.
He is really good. But guys, make sure we want you guys to be involved as well. So there's a link in the top of the description where you guys can actually go vote on which show you think should win. I'm going to post it in the chat right there. But kick it off, let's talk about the story of Legends of Tomorrow this week with Philip over there.
Oh, well, okay. How about the story of our nation? And yeah, what do you think about that? If you don't like dark stuff, well then you are a racist and you were in this episode because this episode was pretty crazy. I remember last week we were like, whoa, next week's the Civil War with zombies, and it's like, kind of, but no.
Yeah.
It was,
I will never get tired of seeing slave owners either be like shot in Django or eaten by zombies. Like, just do whatever the hell you want to them.
Yeah. What was the thing that happened? Like we were talking about like the pitch meeting for this episode.
Oh yeah.
And everyone was like, it was Civil War and you get Confederate zombies, and everyone's like, yeah. And then one guy's like, he's like, you have to talk about slavery. He's like, you went to World War II and you didn't touch the Holocaust. You have to talk about slavery.
Do we really?
Yeah.
We have this really fun one where they're on a spaceship hijinks where it's like
you have a black guy going back to the times of slavery. You gotta talk about it.
Can we not, man? Can we just have fun with Citizen Steel blowing up a bunch of zombies?
No.
But I did think that they provided I think it was an interestingly, and I'll say even well-balanced episode with the most fun idea maybe that they've tossed out there yet. Hey, what the hell? What if Confederate soldiers were zombies? With some, very serious subject matter.
Dead Snow a little bit, just a little older. Dead Snow is the movie which Nazi zombies.
Oh, yeah. So, and I feel like I love time travel stuff in general. Stepping outside of the show for a second, you always want to see the same kind of things. You want to see like, okay, would you go back and would you kill Hitler? Okay, what about slavery? You want to see these things. So I feel like it's good that the show didn't shy away from being like, especially Jackson nails it when he's like,
this is Jack's best episode.
His best episode. He's like, there's not a time I can really go back to in our history where it's like great for me. So I think it's good that they're like, you know what, let's not like to have little subtle lines anymore, like, ooh, it's hard being black in the 50s, which they did before.
Which is good too.
50s episode was really
right, but it's also like, let's straight up acknowledge it, and they fully did. And
they did they got graphic. They were
cutting off the manhood and
and like the dogs will just like kill and eat the slaves that tried to escape, and you're like, okay. Ooh, remember when Stein's getting scared of zombies on the ship? Let's go back to that.
But in terms of why this is this week's winning episode, and it has the best story, I mean, listen to it. You have a zombie breakout featuring Ulysses S. Grant.
Oh, there he is. Yes.
You have like also a horror film taking place on a futuristic time spaceship with a monster movie basically happening there. And you have a sensitive acknowledgement of the history of slavery in the United States of America.
And the ending was really sweet. The ending was like
Stein. No, actually, their relationship shouldn't work, and yet it does. Between the two of them. But I'll say on the show where they are touching. This season has been probably the most fulfilling of the concept of the show. They Nazis and samurai and now the slavery, and it's like, yeah, this is what I want from this show. So it had the best story of the week.
I do want Legends to really hone in on this. Like, we're going to go to a famous time period and put a crazy sci-fi concept to it.
That's really fun.
I'm down with that.
How many times can you do it? We'll find out. We'll find out because this is a 20 to 22
I don't know.
episode.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll see.
Did they get a full season?
They
Let us know in the
got
comments.
This, by the way, this episode was written by the same pair. Well, it's Guggenheim, but it was also the guy who helped write the Star City 2046 episode.
That's a fun one too.
That's a great one too. So I do feel like that pairing is kind of working. One thing I'm just gonna toss out there, just maybe it's a negative thing, but maybe it's not. It's okay. How about Vixen? What else you got?
Yeah. What else you gonna do? Yeah.
Hey, listen. Budgets are tight on your time travel superhero show. Okay.
They did one animation and they're like, again, and they're like, it doesn't make sense. Again.
More gorilla. It's like, it looks like Grodd.
It is
I'm
Grodd.
sorry.
It's Grodd tinted
Is that a
blue.
problem? Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's the best thing we ever did.
All right. Legends tomorrow. But DJ, you're going to be talking about Supergirl. Hit us with
Supergirl
it.
was interesting this week because we dealt with the fallout of the reveal of Miss Martian.
Miss
Marshmallow.
And Martin Manhunter wanted to mind meld with her, which is not as kinky as it sounds, apparently, according to him. But she is not down with that. And you're like, why? What could it possibly be? If you read the comments, you might have a guess.
Watch Young Justice. You know
what it is. And what they think they discover is that it's because she's doing this underground alien fight ring, which allows Supergirl to continue to explore its dynamic with aliens being a stand-in for whatever, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Minority party.
Yes.
In a relatable way. But it also introduces Roulette, classic DC villain. Yeah, great. Okay, we just looked it up before. Deechin Lackman. Yeah, okay, that's right.
She was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was on Dollhouse. I guess I was hearing she was on the 100 as well.
The 100 and, I mean, I talk about the show more than most people even watch it, but Being Human, she was a vampire on there, and she was great. She was really good.
I really like her. I really like her in the role of Roulette, and I really like Roulette as a villain because it's basically, I was trying to describe it to somebody, it's like if you have Lex Luthor without the pretense of being legitimate and just being able to enjoy being bad. Like, that's Roulette, and I really want Supergirl to cross over, like, be in the same universe as the other CW shows for a lot of reasons.
You want Arrow.
But now another one, I'd love it if she showed up on Arrow.
I would love to see
I want to see her all over the place.
Yeah, I think she'd be great. Like every time I see one of these great characters, like, give them the deal where they could be on every show at once. Like, I want to see it.
Oh man, Martian Manhunter and Green Arrow teaming up. A little balance, but it would be weird.
And of course, we've introduced a new superhero, so now one of our established superheroes has to fight the new one. So we got our Martian on Martian fight as they're dealing with that.
I got a picture of that because it was really cool.
Our boy Martin. We got our boy Martin. Had some growing to do because he's just barging in on her, making demands about what she's doing with her life. Not cool. And I really like that the show is taking an opportunity to allow its characters to behave poorly so they can learn a lesson.
And not stupidly.
Not stupidly.
Yeah.
Just like a person does. Like, if you had the power to just phase through walls and you're pissed at somebody, you might just barge in on them too, even though that's super not cool.
Well, also, like, you know how you get your social cues by like hanging out with people.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anybody
else
to
and
play
it's
with.
so tragic because spoilers, we find out at the end of the episode that the reason that she doesn't want to mind meld with Martian Manhunter is not because of the Fight Club, but because she is in fact a white Martian, like she's in the
gorgeous,
comics.
can I say?
White Martians are terrifying.
That's honestly one of the best designs of any of the shows, I think.
The White Martian.
And once that finds out, that will be so tragic that Hank thinks he finally has somebody that understands him and she's not the same.
Well, but she up here she's cool.
Yeah, she's cool,
Yeah,
and
so
also I think it'll be a better explanation of the show's the themes that they're exploring right now than the whole Daxamite thing, because it's one thing they're like, oh, your people are jerks. No, your people are jerks, as opposed to your people committed genocide against my people.
And your people are mainly dead. So
and we also got more of Mon-El and Wynn making a really fun relationship, cool buddy.
Mon-El kind of a Jimmy Olsen and Superman type.
Yeah. And Superman liked to drink a lot.
Yeah. Hey, I'm fine with that. Superman, that's fun.
Hey, this episode was all about those same-sex relationships kind of starting to have some chemistry.
We got definitely a little bit more headway with Alex and Maggie Sawyer, although Maggie's got a significant other.
Ooh, You could
the works.
see the moment her heart breaks.
Yeah.
You could freeze frame that.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was awkward.
It was, and I was like, oh. Well, you like when I want them to like each other.
Because it works.
Yeah,
it works.
it
It's
does.
nice.
Okay, I mean, we all saw the same moment, right? Where it's like, oh, you look nice. And she's like, all right, come this way. And she grabs her hand, and we're like, oh, this works.
It's so sweet.
No.
Alex needs to get love. And one day, yeah.
It didn't sound like you were going to say that. You know what? She needs to get
love. Also, good use of Lena Luthor as the connection into getting in the club.
Yeah,
and never getting Maxwell Lord back.
I hope
Hopefully.
so. I hope so because he's a cool part of the comics and his dynamic in the comics. I'd like to see him interact. He's the reason we got the Justice League Detroit. Whatever.
Oh my God! Please give us that.
It's a classic Justice League run. Justice League International with Blue Beetle and Booster Gold and Guy
Detroit.
Gardner.
I'll cut myself on the table.
And we also got Kara learning how to be a reporter, continuing to butt heads with Snapper Carr, and learning how to. Shocker! If you're working for a newspaper, you have to have sources, and you have to vet your article.
Well, Iris doesn't show it in the Flash.
Oh no!
And she's just like going out. Hanging out. But this, it's like, no, there's a lot of work. There's like a lot of shit you gotta do. It's like one day she's like, well, I'm writing a blog. You know what? I'm gonna be a newspaper person. And then she is. And she's like, okay.
Spoiler, so later we're supposed to kind of say some issues we found with the other shows.
Here it comes. Shots fired.
But that was gonna be later, but literally that's the only issue I had with this episode. She's real bad at being a reporter and does not understand what it is.
Well, she hasn't been one. She's been an assistant.
Go to journalism school. It's a huge thing. You can't be your own source.
Hey, in this world, she can be like 7 sources if she wants.
But that's the only beef. I actually thought that was a really good episode. Also reminded me of that Justice League Unlimited episode. You guys remember that one?
Which one? With the roulette?
Yeah,
That's when I want to see her interact with Arrow.
It's very good. But I think overall, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. took the cake this week. It was an awesome. You guys have been asking for this. I'm actually really excited to talk about it because what they've done with Ghost Rider this season has really amped up the show and has been cleaning up a lot of the problems they have. Overall, we have characters now that we actually care about, from Coulson to May to Fitz to Simmons. Even with we have our new director who's really cool, the Patriot, Jeffrey Mace. He's got some stuff going on, and we got a face off with basically Captain America and Ghost Rider. I have an image for him, and he is right there. So cool. I shouldn't help you. This episode was a mixed bag for me. However, when they're like, nah, there's no way he's gonna break out of that cell. It's impossible. And then he beats the door and what? And then he beats. We've established that Jeffrey Mace is a formidable opponent. Yeah. Ghost Rider beats the shit out of him. There's nothing that's you're not even stopping him even a little bit. I'm convinced Ghost Rider could go toe to toe with the Hulk and do okay. Yeah, of course he could. Yeah, I want to see him against Thor because that'd be really fun. But this episode we're exploring how Robbie got his powers and his uncle Eli's tie to everything that happened. And what I like the most is that in the comics, Robbie's origins is hard to latch onto. It's really hard to relate with. It's also super complicated. It is really complicated. What basically a soul of a satanic serial killer is attached to him, and you're like, do I relate to that? It's no, not really. But when it's a demon, you can kind of detach yourself and be like, it's an evil entity, and he's going to use that evil to do some good. And you're like, okay, that's cool. And I also put it into terms the way my impression was kind of like a curse being passed on. It wasn't this person. It wasn't this person, and now it's still the spirit of vengeance. Is that what you thought it was? It was literally it's no longer here. It's only here now? Obviously, there's no information to verify this. I think it would be more interesting to me if there's the one spirit of vengeance, and it was in one person, and now it's in Robbie. But that's an easy one to follow. But in the episode, we were able to see that there was a car accident. Robbie is directly responsible for his brother being paralyzed, and in that you get this awesome shot that I want to pull up really quick, where when he was hit by the car, you have this tragic scene of Robbie's dead. He is dead right there, and also when Robbie's, I don't know how they did this shot. When he's flying from the car, and rolls on the ground, and then it starts pulling up, and then just a wet. As he hits the ground and he's dead. But we get this awesome reveal that there has been more than one Ghost Rider on this show, in this universe, and Johnny Blaze is one of them. That's Johnny Blaze. Or at least as far as we know. I doubt it's Danny Ketch. Yeah, it's probably Johnny also, Blaze. Look at that. He's got a bullet hole or something in his skull. I was pointing out, I think bullets shatter your skull, so I think that's a real, a little ice pick or a pull cue or something. But that was a really fun reveal, and also, like you're saying, there's this new take on the origin of a Ghost Rider, because usually they don't just give it to to you. They're like, you have to get it from a demon or someone like possesses you.
That original one it feels like, did you guys see Child's Play? That's like how Chucky.
He tries to put his like soul into another body.
It's like a satanic murder or whatever. Moves it into a doll. That's where they got it from.
And in this, it's like I would like if it was like you can pass it on and you can be done with it, but in that way you can have later Johnny Blaze, whoever they want to cast. I think Nick Cage, if they can really pull the strings. I know that's silly, but having a mentor for Ghost Rider could be really cool.
That's
in a
great.
solo
I don't think
series.
they'll bring Nick Cage on anything.
Yeah, no,
probably not.
I'm a big fan of that too because Johnny Blaze was a mentor figure to Danny Ketch, who's my favorite Ghost Rider, and I think that'd be really cool. I did a video today where I talk about magic in the Marvel Universe, and I speculate who I think would be a good casting for Johnny Blaze.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's really cool. There's a lot of choices, and I think there are some TV actors that would do Johnny Blaze justice, because he can still be young, he can fit the mold that they have, but anyways, we move on and we like finally get rid of the ghost storyline for the most part, but we find out that Eli is responsible for this man being in the hospital. Like, he beat the shit out of him on purpose. Like, he wasn't like standing up for something that's right. He put he transformed those people into these otherworldly entities and trapped them inside of a box because he wants to get powers from the Dark Dimension. So he had a little tie to Doctor Strange and Agent Carter, which is really cool. And now he can basically just make things. Like, he can just conjure things.
It doesn't seem super threatening.
No. He like basically
it's like,
cold.
I got a little rock.
But
cool, dude.
It is a way.
I can do that too.
It's a sciencey way of saying he can conjure anything if he can focus on it, which is very scary. No. And then we're left at the very end, like Robbie, Coulson, and Fitz are all now
gone somewhere.
They're somewhere, and I think that's going to be fun. Like, we haven't had an episode, part of the season where someone disappeared to a different foreign place. Now, have we? There wasn't a part where somebody got disappeared to a planet.
Hey, that's my favorite stuff, though, when they do that.
That was really fun. Yeah. That was a really good episode for Simmons. But anyways, with that, I think actually getting a solid tie to Marvel properties that everyone cares about, and giving a solid arc to like a good reveal for a villain. I honestly didn't see that coming, even though Eli Morrow is a horrible person in the comics.
Not related to Robbie by blood in the comics.
He actually find out he is. You find out that he isn't directly. He's like either like a step or like a half or brother or something like that, but he is tied to him.
I think what they're doing on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for Ghost Riders it's a lot more streamlined.
It is streamlined, and it's very. I'm excited to see where they go. And they've wrapped up like Arrow. This like up until now, they've really wrapped up this storyline. Like so now, let's move to the next one, and let's just keep it together, guys.
Yeah, I believe we're taking a break after this
There's 2 weeks, and then we'll come back. But that's it for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let me go ahead and do a quick update.
Do you think we will see Johnny Blaze in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or do you think they'll hold that to if Ghost Rider gets a hypothetical show?
Guys, Supergirl's winning right now. So Supergirl, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Legends of Tomorrow, if you wouldn't mind switching it. I wouldn't mind seeing Johnny Blaze on there. I think if you give him like the Hellfire gun like he has in the comics, which is really cool. Oh no, teamwork makes the dream work. I see how you feel about that. I get it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, look at that.
I love the Johnny Blaze review. It was so cool.
That was really cool. Guys, keep voting. Link in the top of the description. But let's go ahead and keep on moving. Action for this episode.
Ooh, there wasn't so many. No, there was a couple.
There were some cool stuff.
No, there was very specific moments.
Yeah.
The opening fight against the Confederate zombies right at the beginning.
DJ's figuring it out.
There you go, buddy. Was fun. That's when I definitely had that moment of like, okay, the gorilla again. Okay. But I did like seeing that ish. But I prefer probably the escape from the slave owner scene at the end. And yeah, I mean that's the most epic moment of the episode. Where
the epic moment though too is Steel. Steel had a really...
you know what? That moment was okay for me.
Really? I thought that was funny.
I don't know. His clothes were fine. It was a little weird. But the instant karma is what I loved of like, well, I'm too smart to ever give weapons to my slaves. Immediately not only eaten, then like burned alive.
By the way, super fire hazard. Man, one lamp goes down, the whole house goes up immediately.
I would have loved it. It's like, oh no, we got eaten. Ooh, fire. And then like just somebody brought out a gun and just like fired like wildly down there.
Like in the end of Inglourious Bastards. Like just mow him down.
He's like, I think he's for sure dead. He's like, no, I just gotta make sure, man.
Yeah, you gotta make sure.
Yeah, I think honestly they had to hold back a little bit. Like we didn't see like a real. Like I wish we had seen more of Sarah going out there and like I think there was like a moment where it's like implied she killed like 50 zombies. But we didn't see it.
The weird part is like she was like, I'm gonna go get proof of a zombie. Brings back a severed head that's still alive, and I was like, but then I was like,
that was a cool moment.
You cured Mick on the ship,
No, that's
and then you're like, and I'm fine with like what, like they're gonna just go kill a bunch of Confederate soldiers, but I was like, you're killing like hundreds of people, like
also
hundreds,
like
and I'm like, I'm not siding with them. I'm just like,
there's probably Union zombies in there too.
yeah, but no, they're killing everybody.
Well, they didn't know that they could cure it. Maybe she thought she was going to have to kill Mick too.
It was just like, oh man, that would have been a bummer.
But I'll also
not
give
doing that much this season.
Yeah. The on the ship, I'll give that its own kind of separate little acknowledgement. Like that was really fun action of just a little horror movie right there. It was like a little Aliens 1 Alien.
What about Captain Cool? Was that an epic moment for you?
It wasn't, for me, it wasn't.
Well, maybe not yet. I immediately was like, he's gonna fuck that up. He's gonna be like, I froze my leg and I broke it.
Apparently, we can just fix that.
Apparently, when Mick gave Ray Palmer the cold gun, and he's like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Immediately freezes his face.
That would be really funny.
Whoops.
Got him. But all right, that's pretty cool for action. But hit us with Supergirl's action.
We also in Supergirl we got a big throwdown with not only the Martian fight, we also had Supergirl versus Draga.
Which I now learned the correct pronunciation is Draga on the show.
Yeah.
I also said Draga.
And Drago actually.
No, I got it in my Easter eggs.
Oh.
We have a whole Easter egg segment.
All right, fine.
Maybe Sam was going to say something else.
Yeah, so we got those cool fights. I think Supergirl continues to impress me with how it's incorporating powers into its fights.
These fights are so much better this season.
This is honestly everything I've ever wanted from a Superman show, where she's throwing down with people of roughly the same power level. And it just looks like you'd want a Superman show. It's not like Smallville where you just like zoom in a room and push a person to the wall and it was over. You know what I mean?
It's the best. It's the best. Easy formula. Yeah.
So it's like the action choreography has gotten really cool in the show, and I'm excited. Next week it looks like we're starting to set up for Guardian, which I think will add another interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to pay off season long, but I'm excited. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But I'm sorry, I think I had. Basically Captain America versus Ghost Rider on this, and Ghost Rider won handily. It was so easy.
Yeah.
But also you got, I mean, that's also the epic moment for me. Like there were a lot of really, I mean, my epic moment I think would have to go with the
car chase was cool.
The car chase was cool, but Robbie getting transformed into Ghost Rider for the first time, and like
always
that's
that
fear.
That right eye always goes first.
That one melts first.
Yeah.
I've got to remember.
Well, in fact, that's
I really like when he transforms in front of his brother, and then he shakes off his skin, and then like continues fighting.
Oh, first time we saw how the comeback looks like.
Oh,
this is the first time we've seen the face growing back.
It's gross. It's super gross. Yeah, but the action, definitely having an inhuman, super strong super soldier fighting a demon.
Yeah. For me, the epic moment was the Johnny Blazer. I even knew it was coming because I watched it a few days late, and people on Instagram were already like posting images of it. But it was still just, it was cool. It was really well put together.
I wish I hadn't have known, because as soon as they said the Good Samaritan was a really cool way of like shrouding it, and as soon as you see the motorcycle, you're like, okay, it's Johnny Blaze. But like that one like notion, it's like, who's a good Samaritan? Like, who could that be? I just thought
that whole setup was so cool, where he's kind of like, as I'm flying through the air, like, I just wanted you to be safe, and I called out to anybody who would listen.
And that's the most genuine
And then the first thing, the cool thing about that is, I'm sorry, I don't think Marvel does enough of this. We're just little simple things that display character. They usually go with the tell don't show method, where they describe stuff in too much detail. But just the little fact that he saves Gabe first, and then because he finishes what Robbie was asking for, and also saves a life before he passes it on.
That's interesting,
because you got to remember, Ghost Rider is a good guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so like the fact that he saved the life first.
He's under his own, it's Ghost Rider thinking for himself, like.
Well, because you look at Robbie, I don't think, I like that Gabriel called him on his shit. Like, he's like, don't pretend like you did this for me. Like, you did this for you. I don't think the Spirit of Vengeance, Robbie tries to pass it off on the Spirit of Vengeance. I think he's more autonomous than he gives himself credit for.
Yeah,
I've never gotten the impression that he it's just like when you go into like a rage. You're not thinking clearly, but it's still you.
Like, I thought the prison scene from last episode when he kills the prisoner, I thought that was the Spirit of Vengeance, like kind of like getting like all vibey and he needs to go kill him. It's like, no, you know who that is, and and like deep down in your soul, well, specifically his deal with the devil is that he wants vengeance on everyone that hurt his brother.
Yeah.
So like, maybe that's what it is. But no, it's selfish. It's the reason why you killed that person. You did not need to kill him.
I would love a Ghost Rider show so they could explore the relationship between him and the Spirit of Vengeance.
Also, this is probably the most interesting Ghost Rider. Like, because as far as I know, Danny Ketch and like the other Ghost Riders, they get them because it's like it just happens and like they're stuck with it, or they take it. But with him, he's like, I want to do something good. I want something good for someone that I care about. Sure, he does selfish things with it, but there's heart behind it.
Yeah, and the other cool thing is if they did a Ghost Rider show and they had Johnny Blaze in it, not only can you explore all of Robbie Reyes' stuff, you can explore Johnny Blaze's whole backstory.
And maybe even more of them. Yeah. All right, I'm going to do a quick poll. Still the same. Supergirl, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Legends of Tomorrow. Supergirl, what are you guys doing?
I want to say,
what are you guys doing?
Lockman, I want to thank you for being in this episode. I feel like you're helping me out here.
I had a little spit in my mouth. Let's move over to our, Easter eggs. Who had the best little nod to other things?
Oh, well, you said best, but I think you mean let's go in order. First. Not a lot of Easter eggs this episode. I'm going to give you 3. One, I like Ulysses S. Grant refers to Sarah as Captain Lance. I was like, oh, that's like a little, she's taking the mantle on. Cool. Yeah, that was, okay. I like another small little thing, just to another property where Ray's like, listen to me, Marty. Like,
sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's a little
time travel
reference. That they do twice, and I don't know why. Like the second time, I was like,
they should have Christopher Lloyd on as like a guest character
or an expert on.
He would have been a good Einstein.
That would have been.
He would have been a really, really fun Einstein. They get him on other things.
Or Time Lord. And you can tell I'm reaching, but it works. They use a fire extinguisher to take out Heatwave.
That is good. I actually like that.
I
didn't think about that at the time. That's pretty good. I like that.
Legends of Tomorrow gets to give him some votes for that one. That was good. You reached and you got it. How about Supergirl?
We actually had a ton of Supergirl.
Dude, this season is just packing it in. They're like, and this was more and more.
Yeah. This was so many episodes.
Yeah.
We got apparently before it was revealed that Mon-El was going to be in the pod, the rumor was that it was going to be some sort of alien prince. So the fact that the prince gives it to Mon-El was apparently a little nod. We got Noonan's, which is where Cat Grant always wanted her coffee from. Did not know this. Noonan's is actually from the Hitman comic created by Garth Ennis. Hitman was...
actually, Philip found that when we did our Supergirl After.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's on her resume.
Hitman's a really interesting character. Anyway, I'd love to see him in something.
It's a completely different version of Noonan's.
Yeah.
Like it's like nice.
Yeah. We got Roulette, obviously, who's a character from the comic. She was created by Jeff Johns and Rax Morales and
Colonel
his
Sanders. You missed Colonel Sanders. Sorry.
No, I didn't. I chose not to. I thought I'd be stronger with that.
There were some in Supergirl that were a little bit of a stretch like that, and I decided not to list them. Draga, who not only is in the comics, but is in the Justice League animated series, and it's pretty much always the same story. He's on World. Superman takes him out, but does not kill him, which everybody on World and Draga takes as a dishonor. So he spends the rest of his life trying to get Superman to either kill Superman or be killed by Superman. We also got a reference to World. I would love to see World, and we could do it with Draga. If you just look at, because Draga was a cool.
But no, could they do it money-wise? Could they do it?
You could do Mongol. You could do Mongol. I would love to see Mongol.
You could do Mongol.
There was a brief moment when we were doing for the Girl Who Has Everything that I was hoping we'd get to see Mongol, because you look at Draga, that's a cool combination of practical and CG. They could do Mongol. They could do Darkseid. We had the reference to the Darkseid Club last season. I would love to see them do the New Gods in this show.
Would you rather they do it just to do it, or do it like save up all season, like take a long time?
I think what they should do is that when Grant Morrison did his Seven Soldiers series, it was actually supposed to. Time gets really weird with Grant Morrison. I think it was supposed to be taking place after Final Crisis, even though it was years before, and so it was after the New Gods had like died and been reborn as humans on Earth. So Darkseid ran a club as just a giant club owner, like an physically intimidating club owner.
Those kinds of interpretations.
I think it'd be cool if you had them being like in Final Crisis, where Godfrey is with that televangelist and everything, where they're kind of like infiltrating our world in that format, or that's how they're presented in this world.
Then you have that's their toe in our world.
And so then when they like show up, like when you, I would shit my pants if you straight up saw Darkseid on Supergirl.
That's what I'm saying, where it's like just the reference alone, but at the same time, it's like, or
like you see him step out of flames,
like the
giant Darkseid
version of stuff.
I don't need that. We had it in Smallville.
That's what I'm saying.
So I liked what Smallville did.
We had the touching toe into the world type of New Gods.
That's why I'm finding beef with, because it's like, remember they even had freaking on Smallville.
Yeah.
But so we got a reference to World. I'd love to see Mongol at least, if not the whole world.
Oh, sorry, my pitch for this. This is how at the end of it, because you're getting like all these more and more aliens, and you kind of have them keep talking about Warworld and more of like this like threat of something coming. At the end, you might have like Mongol or like someone that like kind of like reports to him. Grab her. And you could do like I was thinking of Fringe season 2 to 3, where they have a shapeshifter take the place basically of Supergirl, or she's just missing and she's stuck on Warworld where she can't escape, and she's like has to fight over and over. And she comes back like kind of like
and that's where she runs into a Red Lantern. And we also got a reference when Winn is training Mon-El that he can leap tall buildings in a single bound, which is of course a classic reference to the Fleischer Superman cartoons, which are great if you get a chance to check those out. They talk about Mon-El getting a code name. In the comics, his code name is Valor. So odds are that's what's going to happen.
And a new costume.
I'm interested to see the costume. And then
how did he know that Winn was the right person for the costume? Like,
because didn't he say like Carr told me you made the costume?
It went the other way around, didn't it? Didn't he go like, and I could use a new costume. He's like, actually, I made Carr's costume.
Weird. That is weird. Also, this is an obscure one. Carr references her bad prom date with a guy named Scott Klein. Scott Klein is the former executive producer of Vampire Diaries.
Ooh,
and left that show. Yeah.
Stretching.
So I think it's either a fun shout out to him or like shots fired at him or something.
I would rather it be shots fired.
There you go.
All right, but with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. last episode, I want to bring this up because it was really cool because we did not know we were going to get Johnny Blaze. When they're looking for the Darkhold in the basement, everything on the walls is hinting towards the circus that Johnny Blaze was raised with. And that's really fun. But this episode, biggest one, we got Johnny Blaze on this show and he's confirmed. But also, and this is not spoilers to Doctor Strange, but this ties it back, the Darkhold could have at one point been in the possession of the Sorcerers, or the Sorcerer Supreme. Like if once you guys see Doctor Strange, they do mention a book that is missing, and I will not go any further.
Or they don't mention one that's missing. It's just keep an eye out when they show the these books shouldn't be dealt with or whatever, that there is a spot.
And this book does look like it would fit in this library in Doctor Strange. So we got that, but also we got nice ties to Agent Carter, not only with the Dark Dimension that's mentioned that happened in season 2 of Agent Carter, but also like you look at the files and what was it? They mentioned something else.
They mentioned they have a fun joke about like who names these things because they mentioned the Zero Matter.
Zero Matter, yes, that's what it is.
And what was that? What was it called? The Dark something, whatever. But yeah, we got a fun shout out to Agent Carter. Which, by the way, I would love to see them. Because obviously that show ended on a cliffhanger. Have the back half of this season have a few time travel, like a time travel 3-parter, where they time travel back to Agent Carter's time and they resolve all that. Basically, it's kind of like what they did for Batman Beyond and Justice League Unlimited, where it's kind of like a de facto finale. Like,
it would have been really cool.
Here's the finale. We're, even though we can't wrap it up on its own terms, we wrapped it up.
What would be really cool is if Ghost Rider went with them, and so he has to kind of dress up as a kind of like a James Dean type character, so he can get the leather jacket and like the motorcycle. Which would be really cool.
If they did that though, it like doubles down my concern that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. can't carry itself anymore. It's it works great with like another
thing. It never really could.
No, it can't. No, and like
even it's true. Like even from the premise, it was like, remember in the very first season, it was like about like, I hope they get someone on this show. And it's like, you guys have
for a hot second they had a Mockingbird and everything. It's like there's just not. It's just kind of like Marvel saying, like, we care about the show, but not really.
But also
not enough to put characters we care about in there.
It's weird that like they didn't have anyone of name, like besides Coulson. But you're like, you created him in the MCU and then you added him to the comics.
Yeah,
like,
they should have let us know that Quake was Quake right off the bat, and
they didn't know.
Yeah, I know. And had Mockingbird right off the bat.
No, she would have been great. And also, it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Of course, you have Mockingbird. And maybe at least, I don't know.
You know what? The first half of season 3 was really good.
Yeah, and this season is super solid. Love the darker tone, love everything. But go ahead. One more check-in really quick.
Let's do the one more check-in.
Let's do another check-in. Wow, holding strong, huh, Supergirl?
Supergirl again.
Wow.
Deitch and Lockman, man.
Guys.
Honestly, though, I mean, I think this was my favorite Supergirl episode yet, which is saying a lot because
this season's been
Supergirl
really
had a
good.
really strong
I think
season.
again, I can't keep saying this every week. I feel like our shows have been really solid. Like even weeks where like Flash was not as good as it has been in past weeks, still fine.
Yeah, still fun.
It's not offensive in any way.
It was the weakest of them, but I'll say it's the weakest. But we're about to get to the rebuttal portion of the show.
I dislike the
really excited
premiere
about.
more.
No, of
Than
this
this
week.
episode.
Sorry, this
Yes.
week.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the
this
weakest
week. Yes,
episode
yes.
this week.
Yeah.
But now you guys asked for it. We're going to be doing a rebuttal section, and each of us is going to pick a show to take down. And I believe you wanted to take down.
I mean,
Supergirl.
like it's. I had so little to complain about this episode that he
You're
brought
welcome.
it up in his positives. It's just she's not. She doesn't get reporting. Like to the point where like
getting
it
there.
makes me side with Snapper, which doesn't. I don't want to.
But
I'm
you
like,
love Snapper, yeah.
Sure, but it's like you don't get to pick. It's like I'm a brain surgeon. It's like no, go learn something.
But Kat
Reporting in
wrote
brain
something.
surgery.
Wrote on
I
her
know.
resume in her desk. All right.
She clearly wants to be, which by the way, like that was a magic trick. I've seen David Blaine do that same thing. But she clearly.
She's got like 7 options. She's like, yeah, you wanted to be lieutenant,
Yeah,
right? I wrote that
okay,
down
okay.
the first day you came in here.
She just so clearly wants to be a commentator or something. She wants to have like opinions and
She should start a
stories.
podcast.
And that's not only
Would that be
Kara
an exciting
answers.
show if Kara had a podcast?
Yeah. Oh man, that's how she communicates with her cousin.
The texting I do not miss. Even though that was nice when they ended the the text.
text.
Also, guys, I see a lot of people saying that S.H.I.E.L.D. is better than all the CW shows. I don't see you guys voting for it.
Yeah, you don't vote for it.
You guys say you like it, but you're not voting for it.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
just gotta, but just to, even though it's the only thing I had beef with this episode, I should say, like, I didn't go to journalism school, but I went to telecom, which is adjacent, and, like, those people they kill themselves to get journalism right, and that's one of my favorite things about that profession is, like, how, like, hard it is to do right, and Snapper's totally right, and I feel like she shouldn't learn it the way of like, oh, I'll keep rewriting it until I do it. It's like, it's hard to do journalism well.
To be fair, they are being harder on her than they ever were on Iris West when she decided to be a journalist.
Oh yeah, she's not a journalist.
Yeah.
No, but also it's make believe.
But that's another thing that I like about the show, and it being the Superman show I always wanted. Having her day job and her time at not the Daily Planet, I almost call it the Daily Planet. It's not at Catco. Paying attention to that. And like really paying attention to like what demands, even though her getting into it is kind of ridiculous, the demands that will be put upon her
are
trying to at least
more compelling
make it,
than being an assistant.
Yeah, or more compelling than being an assistant, and also trying to make it at least believable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, and I I don't know, and also making a compelling argument for why somebody would want to be a reporter.
Poison's being thrown around over here. Supergirl.
Yeah.
Hit us with
Great
Agents of
episode
S.H.I.E.L.D.
this
Agents of
week,
S.H.I.E.L.D. I think I've been really liking this season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. mostly for Ghost Rider. I really want a Ghost Rider show. I don't know if you guys knew that. I don't know if I've said that already, but I really want a Ghost Rider show.
Hit me with it.
It was.
You can take it.
I do not give a shit about the ghosts and being trapped in the boxes and trying to explain the magic with science. Don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Continue.
I don't. And I'm glad we kind of dealt with it. I'm glad that Eli's the big bad, but I don't really. I don't.
To be fair, you've always had a problem with this show. Admit it.
I really
Admit
like.
it.
I really like
Play
the
the
end.
clip.
I really like the end of season 1, the end of season 2, and the beginning of season 3. I like the beginning of season 3 a lot when it decided to like, hey, we're a spy show. I like that a lot. Anyway, what's happening?
I'm just saying, admit it.
Admit it.
You hate it?
I don't think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is as fun as the CW shows, and mostly that's not its fault. Mostly it's hamstrung by the fact that it can't use most of the cool characters from the comics.
Sam broke the feed. He can't get off of DJ.
But so I was kind of like, all the origin stuff was great, although I think they were a little bit, it's like, hey, we're going to explain to you what happened in the backstory, then we're going to show it to you. It's like you could just show it. You don't need to explain it before you show it.
I think all your points are invalid, and my show should win.
But I did like. But again, I think the showing. I don't. This is the rebuttal part. I don't know why I feel the need to go back and compliment. Like, I'm sorry, I don't like getting shit for hating Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., okay? I don't hate it.
Yes, he does.
I don't hate it. I just like Arrow and Supergirl more.
Not as much as I hate Legends of Tomorrow. Here it comes, guys.
Ghost Rider was cool. And the origin was really cool. And the pulling up and then Johnny Blaze melted my brain. It was cool.
Go ahead. Hit Legends of Tomorrow. Just remember anything you say is racist.
Yes, here it comes. Here it comes, guys. I had the easy one to fight against this week. No, I think everything they did there, while some people could say it's heavy-handed for what the genre is, I thought it was expertly handled with Jax.
For the CW.
For the CW, and specifically these shows. These shows do not really need to take a stance politically.
Do any of you guys clench a little bit when they go, like, oh, you're going to talk about slavery? Oh, no.
Yeah, I think you guys can real mess this up.
I don't know if you have that.
I don't think you have the credibility to do this. It's like, remember, you were in tights. Like, you gotta...
Every time Supergirl's like, I'm going to make a speech about racism to these aliens, I'm like, don't. Okay, we got through it. We got through it, everybody. It worked out. It worked out.
Like, as a Kryptonian, and you're like, no.
Transgressions.
Besides that, the rest of the episode seemed pretty... kind of pointless. Like, even though while enjoyable, it's like, okay, Stein, chill the fuck out. And also, they're like, Confederacy, like, not supporting that's awful, but like you deciding to kill hundreds of people in the past, but then saving your friend, it's like, you're fucking up. If we're just thinking of logic of time travel, like, you are murdering a lot of people.
We already changed it to Einstein's as opposed to Einstein.
Everything's out the window.
I made the joke earlier that when they burned down the plantation, Oliver Queen is no longer rich.
It's like,
like they don't care.
Commentary.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, like, the thing that, like,
I thought that was Oliver Queen's brain.
It's like, ooh, the Queen's got a shadier past.
Yeah, they find like a green KKK hood.
Yeah. Would that have been? See, that's the stuff the show has to avoid, even though it'd be super compelling. If you had to deal with the fact that, like, I'm so and so queen. Oh, I don't know.
Like, you already had like the ties back to like Katana and everything, and you're like,
oh no,
that'd be awful because you have like someone mentions like Vixen from being from Vixen's tribe and like or like her ancestors, and then like queen. And it's like.
Man, but Jack's giving a speech of like, here it gets better, blah blah blah, and they're like, I wasn't listening, I was looking at her neckless. We gotta listen to her.
But also, I liked how real that was. But when they came back to their original mission, kind of went away. They're like, their space pirate just kind of either got killed or like
turned into a zombie or something.
Turned into a zombie, not really sure. But they sprayed some stuff everywhere, so that means there's just a time pirate running around. Also, they're like, you got a ship. Yeah, burn it. And it's like, it's metal,
now
man.
It's
like,
it doesn't burnt shit.
Yeah, no one can identify this in the future when it's like, what, you're like 50 years away from people being able to dig stuff up. It's like, they're not gonna know that that's wrong.
Meanwhile, like, Barry sneezes in the past, and it's like dinosaurs walking the earth again. Like,
there's problems with that, and what was the thing that I was like, that didn't click with me? What is this?
Chakras.
Chakra. Doctor Strange. You can listen to our review on the channel in a little bit. I don't know. There's stuff in there. But overall, really good episode.
Oh, we haven't talked about, it's nice to get one more sentence of Old Man Barry's.
Yeah, we're gonna get a sentence by sentence.
A war
also,
he's setting up the Dominators, right? That's
Probably.
what that is.
Maybe
that's my
the
guess.
crossover.
It's for the crossover.
But also, it would be nice if they used Mick because they set him up to be a really compelling character last season. They actually, for being in only 2 episodes of The Flash, like he really had nothing to go off of. And in this, you're like, I want more of that character that you had compelling. Like,
what's tough about Mick is that they made Mick surprisingly one of the best characters on that show, definitely.
Yeah.
Where they just by doing that thing where they like gave him an eternity,
Kronos,
and then now it's like, you guys did such a good job that it doesn't matter that you're not acknowledging that anymore. Because it's like. He was really set up to be really great, and now he's like still pretty good. But I think it's like a little bit like
let him be captain for like a couple episodes and see how much and he's kind of just taking detours to places he wants to go, and he's like, oh guys, look, there's something bad happening. And it's like, no, it's luck, man. Like you're just fucking it up. Anyways, I would like more compelling stories from them because Sarah's being set up really well. Nate, I'm blank. Steele, sorry, his name is not in my head, but he is becoming better and better every episode. Just give him a little bit more.
He's barely in this one.
Yeah, but he's better than the first
He's also
episode.
super useful.
Yeah.
like,
His
oh,
power,
here's where we are in the past. No, just the past. I mean,
Oh,
that is
having a
useful.
historian, yeah.
Yeah, having me like, oh, here's where we are in the past.
Although
This
they
is
keep
where
mocking it.
Yeah.
They keep being like, we don't need to listen to you.
Yeah.
He's like, you want to see how useful you are? Let's go in the past really quick and just fuck it up real hard.
Yeah.
Like, let's
Sarah
just,
can talk to anyone and it solves it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But good episodes all around, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and check one more time how everything's doing.
Who won?
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna come back in just a second because we're nearing the end of our stream.
He wants to hold off just a little bit to see if he
Wow,
can close
really?
the gap there.
How
He wants to
unexpected.
see if he can close the gap there.
And Supergirl 1509, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 1471, and Legends of Tomorrow 1066. I mean, anything can happen at this point, guys. Am I right? But
Vamp until they vote for your show.
yeah, a little bit of vamping. Also, I have to just
Yeah.
make sure that our prizes are on their way because I had a time limit of when they should show up. So
Oh,
we're waiting for that to
weird.
come. But as that comes, what would you guys vote as your favorite episode of the week?
We can't do that.
Yes, you
We
can,
can't do
and I'm
that.
making you do it. And in the comments down below, you gotta do it
honestly,
too.
I thought.
What? We're gonna meet. We're not even done with the argument.
I'm vamping, damn it! Help me!
Honestly, I will
gonna help
say.
him as Supergirl.
No, I will say, like, I honestly, Supergirl was my favorite this week. I thought it had a really good week.
Yeah.
I think it's tackling its themes really well. I think it's built out its cast really well and found really interesting ways to utilize them.
Oh, interesting.
Which I think all the shows are doing a really good job right now is like figuring out where their cast members fit best. And more Martian Manhunter is always a good thing. They've set up a really compelling arc for Hank this season.
I'm gonna call him Jean. I can't really call him Hank anymore.
Anymore,
It's just
he's
Jean.
Jean.
Well,
Jean is really cool.
Are
too,
they
so.
Yeah.
are they avoiding saying his name much on the
No,
show?
it's weird because they were calling him Hank for the first couple episodes, but they call him Jean this episode.
They called him John last
Because
episode.
he was more
so-
Martian in this episode. More Martin.
Martin.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Never mind.
Oh,
We're
there
done
we
with this
go.
little vamping. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and check. I'm gonna be bummed. All right, get ready.
I'm ready.
F5 that baby.
Did that do it? All right.
we came close.
Really close, but it still stays the same. Supergirl with 1,663 votes. My God, this smells so good. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 1,628.
So close.
And then Legends of Tomorrow,
You're all
1,120.
racist. You're all racist if you didn't vote for Legend. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right, so Supergirl wins. Yay! And as a winner,
Good
you
for
get
Tara.
s'mores.
That's amazing.
Right? I want s'mores. And for losing, we have to eat this spicy candy.
Oh, yikes.
Yay!
Atomic fireballs. Thank you. All right, let's do this while we plug again once more on
yeah.
our channel.
Oh yeah, before because I'm not gonna be able to say anything once this is
Yeah.
No, eat it and we will plug.
Ready? For Philip Molina.
Nah.
Little plug.
Oh, I was gonna say watch our watch our Doctor Strange review.
Oh yeah,
It should be up on the channel real soon.
soonish. Yeah.
We do spoiler-free and spoilery.
Lucifer will never win. All right? It doesn't. Sorry, continue.
And hit me up on Twitter at Fimo. Oh, I forgot. It tastes like cinnamon and burning.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Favorite candy, right, guys?
yeah.
It's really good.
I'm gonna choke on this.
So tune in for our Doctor Strange spoiler free with a little bit of spoiler review on our channel. DJ.
Let DJ Talks Trash. Check out my video today
smells so
on
good.
talking about Doctor Strange and Ghost Rider and other mystical characters. Also, Only Stupid Answers on Monday is going to be talking about Doctor Strange, so check that out. Only Stupid Answers on Twitter. Take out the vowels from stupid. Sam.
You know what the worst thing about this punishment is? Even if he lets us have any s'more after, we can't taste it.
It really burns.
It's just ruined our mouth.
Ambassadors on the screen right now. Gotta like this video, comment down below. Next week's episode is gonna be a whole hell of a lot of fun. Tell your friends, subscribe, send us your thoughts using the hashtag SuperSmack.
These aren't warheads.
They're not warheads. They are fireballs. They're atomic fireballs. But my little boy body can't really handle this very well. I'm very fragile. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you send us your thoughts. I'm Sam Basher.
Well done.
And I'm Philip Molina.
There you go, handling it. Yeah, right? Yeah, this is real gross. But guys, as always, let's end it with our theme song.
Let's do the fight!